What's up, folks? I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm actually a precinct captain here in Yellowstone County in Montana. And I got a letter from Tim Sheehy to the precinct captains. And I wanted to just make a video about it and tell you guys about this because there's so many lies about Tim Sheehy out there. The Democrats are going over the top with their lies about Tim Sheehy. And I personally met him, personally talked to him, very, very impressed with him. He's a very genuine person. The other thing is I really value the fact that he never brags about his Bronze Star for Valor or what he did to earn the Bronze Star for Valor. In fact, I just got done printing off a bunch of the Bronze Star for Valor citations and passing those around my fellow people here at the office, along with this letter, to try to get the truth out there, because he won't brag about it because he's got too much honor and he's too humble. And of course, the media won't report it. And so I'm taking it upon myself. I'm taking it upon myself to spread the word about the truth. And I encourage everybody to go and look at the Tim Sheehy tweet where he actually tweeted it out. Of course, he never even brought the Bronze Star for Valor up until the Tester and the Democrats and the Washington Post started attacking his service, which is just despicable. And he finally exposed it. He's never bragged about it since. But type in Tim Sheehy Bronze Star for Valor citation. You'll find it on Google. There might be a Tom Cotton tweet retweeting it that actually comes up. That's how I sort of find it on Google. Go read that Bronze Star for Valor citation. Tim Sheehy literally had to run through enemy fire multiple times, carrying his wounded man to save his soldier's life. It's incredible. No punk rich kid does that. Nobody that's shady does that. Risk their whole life, resist their own body's desires to run through enemy fire to save one of their soldiers that they're commanding. Shady sort of rich punk kids don't do that. But anyway, so Tim Sheehy, this letter from Tim Sheehy starts out by talking about how honored Tim Sheehy and his wife were to fight in our nation's longest war. He completed hundreds of missions. His wife was a U.S. Marine Corps officer, and he was a Navy SEAL team leader. He was wounded. He got wounded. He's got a Purple Heart, and he chose to make Montana his home. And what I told Tim Sheehy when I met Tim Sheehy in person, what I told Tim Sheehy was, you know what, Tim, I have a lot of respect for anybody that chooses to make Montana their home, because that shows they've got some wisdom. They are wise. They made a smart decision to come to Montana. He's been here over a decade now. He's started multiple businesses here. He's put lots of Montanans to work. We want, as Montanans, as a fifth generation Montanan, my family's been here since the 1890s. As a fifth generation Montanan, I support veterans that come home from wars coming to Montana and starting businesses here. I don't care what state they're originally from. Okay. In 2014, Tim Sheehy came to Montana. Him and his wife took all of their savings. They started Bridger Aerospace, which is an aerial firefighting company. He's created hundreds of Montana jobs, and he's actually protecting our public lands. And they've actually scaled that business. They've scaled that business now to a literally a worldwide operation on 3 continents. The company's not doing bad. That's all lies. It's very, very common for a company like that to have a down year when there's not a lot of firefighting going on, and then when there's a lot of firefighting needs, they'll have an up year. And it's also not uncommon for a business to take a loss when they've just purchased a bunch of new planes. You know, the Democrats never report on any of that in the media, so you never find out about it. So Tim Sheehy and his company, they developed cutting edge infrared imaging technology to map and track wildfires. And then he created a new company called Ascent Vision Technologies, and which is now like one of the primary manufacturers of anti-drone tech that protected our troops during the war against ISIS. He also founded Little Belt Cattle Company in 2020, where they raise, finish, and process beef 100% in Montana from their ranch here in Montana. They're proud to raise their children on their ranch, securing our nation's food supply. They also have multiple agricultural properties and businesses around the state, including a hay farm near Churchill, the cattle ranch near Martinsdale, and a feedlot near Shepherd. So, it's not just Bridger Aerospace. It's also Ascent Vision Technologies. It's also a hay farm. It's also the feedlot. It's also the cattle ranch. This guy's an impressive guy in a lot of different ways. And he mentions in this letter to the Central Committees as well, something that he talked about at the Trump rally, which was basically he was never interested in getting into politics. He never wanted to be in politics. He's a veteran. He's a businessman. He's a husband and a father, and he's got a lot going on, obviously, and he never wanted to do this until that Afghanistan withdrawal by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and Jon Tester, which was just such a disaster. And what Tim Sheehy says is the way that happened, that washed away the sacrifices made by Tim Sheehy and his closest friends, and he says that was an inflection point for America. Trump says the same thing, and I agree, it was an inflection point. He says he never wanted to run for office. He's never run for office. He's never even run for student council, which I think that's kind of funny because, a lot of these politicians, they ran for student council and they became student council president, and they got a little bit of taste of that electoral victory success, and now that's why they're I think that says a lot about Sheehy, that he never even ran for student council. Again, I think it says a lot about him. And he's talking about how, career politicians like Jon Tester run for office just to get rich, and then they lecture us that they're fighting for us while our problems only get worse. Very, very well said. Jon Tester's been in D.C. for 18 years. He's failed to secure the border. He's failed to deliver a functioning VA to the vets. He's failed to stand up to adversaries like China. He's failed to fight back against the liberals' job-killing energy agenda. He's right on board with it, too. Not only has he failed to fight back against the anti-energy agenda from the left, he's right on board. He's leading it. He's failed to balance the budget. He voted for Joe Biden. He's voted for Kamala Harris's agenda every single time it's mattered. Every single time Kamala Harris had to come in and break a tie, Jon Tester voted with Kamala Harris. And so, yeah, this is just, it's really, really good stuff here as well. And of course, Jon Tester also failed to get funding to replace the St. Mary's siphons, which have now failed and is causing a huge problem. So, Tester's responsible. Tester put us $35 trillion in debt. Tester's failed miserably. 2 decades in D.C. and Tester didn't have anything positive to show for Montana on some of these big issues. Tim Sheehy mentions in here Chuck Schumer and Jon Tester have already spent $60 million against Sheehy, another $60 million in attack ads through the fall. Sheehy says he's just gonna outwork these punks, which is fantastic, and I think he is outworking them. Obviously a hard worker. And so a couple other things here. Then he clears up, he does clear up in this letter a couple of the false attacks that have been running against him. First one, of course, being public lands, which this is so stupid. Tim Sheehy wants to, auction off Yellowstone National Park to the highest bidder and sell all of our national forest. No, he doesn't. That's a stupid attack. And guess what, Democrats? You've made that same attack against every Republican that's run for office in Montana for 30 years, and every time it's been false. Guess what? It's actually the conservatives and the Republicans that are actually the conservationists that actually spend more time on our public lands and actually do preserve and protect them more than the Democrats, who just want to let them rot and be unmanaged until you have a massive forest fire and it all burns. And like people say, we burn up a lot more 2x4s than we harvest. But no, Sheehy says he's a tireless advocate of preserving public lands. He puts his own life on the line every summer to protect our public lands through the aerial firefighting, and he's committed to preserving and expanding access to our public lands, which, of course, access to the public lands is the key point. If you have public lands, but you can't get there because the Democrats shut all the roads down and put gates up on all the roads and you can't access your public lands, it doesn't do you a whole lot of good, does it? He also talks about how his businesses are absolutely successful despite all the lies and attacks about him. He talks about his military record and how BS all the attacks on that are. He talks about his ranching operation. He's got over 20 people in his ranching operation. He's got all these other ag businesses. And so Tim Sheehy is specifically asking people like me who are on the county central committees for the Republican Party to spread the word about what's at stake in this election and the truth about everything that's been going on. Montana is ground zero for the U.S. Senate race. The very fate of our country and our children's futures depends on it. Sheehy's not going to D.C. to start a 50-year political career. He's disgusted by the do-nothing politicians. He's running for the U.S. Senate because when you feel called to serve, you step up and serve. He promises to follow the Constitution and our conservative values. And you know what? There can't be more at stake in this election. There really can't. Tim Sheehy has my full 100% support.